Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. A great question in here from YouTube user Skiman18100. This will be my first camera and I don't plan on shooting much video, if any. Would I be better off just sticking with the G7 because it's a good deal and I won't tell the difference between the image quality of the G85? It's just hard to justify the extra $500. I do plan to take it backpacking, hiking, skiing, traveling, etc. So not sure if the weather seal is worth the extra $500 because I'm usually super careful with any equipment I have. Thoughts? Oh, this is a tough one because I have the G85 here and I love it. But as you know, I had the G7 here all last season and I shot oodles with it and I love it. And so it's very hard because for the exact question you're asking, the exact problem you're having is, if I was to buy today, do I get essentially two G7s for the price of a G85? And you have to ask yourself, is weather sealing, some of the new features, and the IBIS enough for you to want the G85 over the G7? The G7 is still an amazing camera. It's probably the best value out there, period, in cameras at all right now for interchangeable lens cameras. It's 4K. It gives you the full beautiful Micro Four Thirds system, the Panasonic lenses, the Olympus lenses, any of the Micro Four Thirds lenses, although Panasonics are my favorite. You know, my 42.5 f1.7, one of my favorite lenses of all time. So this is a tough question. I understand why you're having a hard time with this. I think you need to decide in your situation, maybe weather sealing's significant. But I also understand why you're saying maybe it's not, because it's never been a big factor for me. I don't like having my cameras out in the elements anyways, even if they are weather sealed. So I typically don't treat them that way. So weather sealing's never been a big seller for me. I'm not saying it's not a good thing to have, but it's just not a factor for me usually in whether I decide to. The G85 happens to have it. I also have the luxury of having the G85 here on loan from Panasonic for a long-term review. So I don't have to pony up for this. And I've thought about this, right? Like, I mean, I've thought about picking up a G7 kit right now. They're $450 or so here around. You know, we just had this is the Thanksgiving weekend. We just had Black Friday, and they've been this price for a bit, and they probably will be right up until Christmas. So, you know, $450 with a lens, kit lens, is a great price for a great camera and lens. So this is a really tough call. If you don't need IBIS and you don't need weather sealing, because I think those are the two most significant features. There's others, but those are the two biggies. If you can get away without those and you want to save the money, I have no problem with you going with the G7 because it's a great deal. If IBIS is important to you, and it's a very significant new advancement, and if weather sealing, it could be useful to you for these things, between the two of them, then maybe you could justify the price. I don't know. This is a very tough call. If I had to buy today, I'm not even sure which way I would go. Because I love the G85, but for half the price, I still love the G7. This is a tough call. So, but those are the two main features I would look at for yourself and see how much those weigh into your thinking, is weather sealing and IBIS. If you don't think those two are all that big a deal to you, then I would look at saving the money on the G7. What do you guys think? Is there another feature you think is very important in the deciding factor here that I'm missing? And which way would you go? Would you save the money and buy a G7 at these phenomenal pricing? I mean, it's the best value camera on the market right now, I think. Or do you think those features in the G85 and the more advanced features, maybe the little bit sharper image, the equivalency to a little more resolution, if you will, without the low pass filter, is that enough for you to pony up the extra money? Essentially right now, twice the price for the G85. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, which way would you go, G7 or G85? Let me know which way and why. Thanks for your question, Ski Man, and hopefully some of my commentary and our users' commentary will help you flush out this purchase decision for yourself and make the right decision for your needs. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.